I wanted to continue on from yesterday. This is Metabolic Health Vlog 2. And I have some PowerPoints here that I presented recently at an Eventbrite. So I'm going to go through them really quickly, hopefully quickly. I usually ramble on a bit, but anyway. Metabolic health, what I know and what you need to know in 2024. And this is one of my meals here. It's lots of cheese. So chronic illness is a metabolic illness. I went on my journey to discover why I'm fat and why it's why I always feel unwell, even when I'm skinny. And I discovered that it's my metabolic health. It's what's going on the inside. So chronic illness is a metabolic issue. I didn't have a chronic illness, but I was definitely heading on the way to something bad. And it wasn't just the fat on the outside. I think that's what spurred me on. But it was also the feeling on the inside. Even when I wasn't overweight, I never really felt that great. There was always a bit of fatigue or whatever. Now, none of that. It's just wonderful. It's like I said in every video, it's like reaching the promised land. I want to help people to understand that you have the power over your own health and that you should take the power, and you can lose weight and keep it off and be extremely happy as well. Not like all the other diets you've ever been on, starvation, and you just feel fucking miserable the whole time. This diet, you feel satisfied because you're not eating carbs, you're not spiking your insulin. All problems begin in the gut. That is absolutely true, mental and physical. If you don't believe me, watch at Metabolic Mind on YouTube for the mental health issues. I wasn't really focused on that, but definitely there is massive improvement in things that I didn't even realize. This kind of feeling of maybe a little bit of anxiety. I didn't think I was. But now it's like mega clarity in every way. Take care of your gut microbiome and you will never feel like crap again. That is so true. This is the picture of an avocado. Really good for good fats and no carbs in them. Health and happiness are free. That's a fact. But sometimes we overcomplicate everything. As long as you eat right. Go and get 6 opinions instead of 1 if you're sick. That's just my opinion of doctors. I have no negative opinion about doctors, but doctors are not into prevention. My opinion is prevention. Doctors are dealing with the illness when you already have it, so that's brilliant and that's necessary. But don't depend on your doctor for your prevention. Go and get 6 opinions. That's also some personal experience in hospitals where doctors won't listen when you're telling them something is wrong and you know yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. I changed my life. You can too with food. Give up all refined carbs 5 days a week for 3 months initially. I would say give them up for 3 months initially. You definitely need 3 days and you're going to feel like shit. You'll feel like shit, but you need to do the switch from insulin resistance to insulin sensitivity. Why is the nation so fat? Come on, girl. Get yourself together. So there's a picture of me last year in May. I had this really big belly, full of fat. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, a lot of stress, eating all the wrong foods, and it was just building up. And then I got this extreme pain. This is the only reason I did anything. I didn't even really realize that I was getting that fat that quickly. It happened over 5 months. And I got this extreme pain under my left rib. And I thought, oh my God, this is a piece of fat or something. I had no idea what was going on in there. And it felt like maybe a hernia. And then I said, if they stitch it up, I'll just get it on the other side, because it'll have to jam. It'll only go somewhere else. So anyway, so then I went on this journey of discovery, and it was like, oh, it's amazing. Anyway, number 1 reason is insulin resistance. Get that into your head and start listening when you hear insulin resistance. This is going to be big news in the next 4 or 5 years. I would say this year, but I'm not sure it's really ready to come out yet, but it's getting traction, this idea. It's not an idea, it's scientifically proven. We are eating too often and not giving our bodies a rest. We are eating too many. The big thing is the spiking of the insulin, and that is insulin is only spiked through carbohydrates. So the human bodies are not designed to eat carbohydrates all the time. We're designed to eat carbohydrates sometimes for fat storage so that we survive. So it's a magnificent survival mechanism, and the reason we desire carbs so much, when we eat them we want more, is that is a survival mechanism, so that we would eat the carbs which were not readily available way back as humans developed. They were only available sometimes, so we would eat them, store the fat in our body, and then we would carry on, and we would be able to survive on much less food. And we would be able to survive on fat and protein, which was our staple. So fat and protein to lose weight. Now, unfortunately, carbs are available 24/7, round the clock, and we're eating them 24/7. This is the problem. And then it's chronically done, so done over time. And after 3 or 4 or 5 years of this chronic, very regular, this is why I'm always saying to people, starve for a few, it's okay, starve for a few days. Like, we have this very regular, we're never giving the body a break. And this is why intermittent fasting is important. It's not because we want to starve ourselves, it's because we need to give the body a break. The internal body needs a break from processing. That's all. It's like shutting down the factory for a few days, you know, or for a few hours or whatever. You need to give it more than 12 hours. So with your last meal in the evening, and then don't eat until the next day, and maybe push back breakfast a little bit. I do around 16:8 most days. I'm a little bit, at the moment, I'm kind of intermittent fasting because I'm doing a little bit longer because I'm trying to get into a dress for a wedding. But anyway, we won't talk about the dress because I kind of busted the zip when I was trying to get it on one day when I was too fat for it. And now the zip won't go over the seam. But anyway, that's a different story. So we're eating too many refined carbs. We're eating too much sugar. People get very confused about sugar and carbs. White flour is worse on the glycemic index than table sugar. So it's going to spike your insulin bigger. If you are going to eat carbs, my husband eats carbs only in the evening, once a day with his main meal, because he's not disciplined at all. But anyway, I don't eat any carbs except maybe at the weekends or special occasions or whatever. If you eat carbs and you're on the ketogenic diet, you will tend not to lose as much weight or any weight on the days you eat the carbs. So that's fine, but you're maintaining your weight. You won't put on any as long as you don't eat carbs all day long. So the problem is the spiking of the insulin, because when there's too much glucose in your blood, which there usually is for most of our modern meals, is that then that goes into fat storage. Whatever the remainder is, insulin will put into fat storage. So we too much sugar, consuming too much soda and diet soda, give up all of that shit. We are not minding our gut microbiome. Eat more fiber. If you're not going to eat fiber, eat carnivore. I don't do carnivore, but I eat fiber, and I only eat cruciferous vegetables. They're cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, rocket salad. I eat a lot of rocket salad, which is, it's only 99 cents a bag in the supermarket. Maybe 109 now, I think, with the cost of living thing. It's gone up a bit, but eat that. And you don't have to eat it all day. Just eat a bit sometimes. And your gut will be so happy. Mushrooms, really brilliant for the gut. You can fry them in butter. Onions, garlic, ginger, really good for the gut. I eat it raw. I literally slice it off and eat it raw. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with people that they need to be cooking everything and they need to overcomplicate. I even eat garlic raw. Not on the days I'm kissing. But anyway, I don't expect to manage our health. We expect to get sick as we age. This is another thing. What are we expecting to get sick for? How can the ketogenic diet help? And intermittent fasting. Keto is used as a framework of low carb eating. So eat real food, eat real food, eat real food. Just eat real food. Stop eating out of a box. Don't eat any carbs. Just throw out all your carbs and just eat real food. I'll show you some pictures there in a minute. Intermittent fasting is key. That's kind of key. And the only reason I would really say intermittent fasting is key is not really for the weight loss part. It's for giving your body a break. Let your system work on what it has in there and clean out. Nobody would have a factory going 24/7 all the time. Stop eating all the time. Give your body a break. In my experience, it's much easier to fast while on low carb. How do I implement intermittent fasting and keto? I don't take these electrolytes anymore. I use sea salt. I take a potassium tablet sometimes and a magnesium tablet. And I use a very good multivitamin which has minerals in it. So it's from Tesco. It's really cheap, $6.99 for 90 tablets or something. I find it the best. I've used the expensive ones. And it's, you take one a day and it has minerals and iron. Very important. If you have an iron problem, then don't obviously take it. Get lettuce, rocket salad, get protein, lentils, beans. I don't take lentils and beans, but you can do collagen powder. I do collagen tablets, the beef collagen. I'm actually allergic to the marine collagen for some reason. And meat, eggs, cheese. Soy, I don't eat soy, but meat, eggs, cheese. Listen, eat them. Get fats, good ones, like butter, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, avocados, cheese. Get going. It will be hard. The first 3 days is hard. You'll be in bed. Plan for that. Plan for that. Get the carbs out. I'm a cold turkey person. I can't weed them out little by little. I'm all or nothing. So I literally went deadpan, off carbs, and I had keto flu. I was in bed for kind of 2 days, a day or two. And then I was frantically looking for the glucose spike. Frantic. It's like a drug addict looking for carbs around the kitchen. But I got through it. I got through it. You're gonna fall off the wagon now and again, but keep going, go back on track, do the intermittent fasting, start at 12 hours, then try and extend it a little bit extended. You're going to get keto flu. Boredom. The boredom was the biggest thing. I didn't realize how much I was eating small amounts on an ongoing basis. When I was started on this, I was bored. So I started walking more. Walking does not matter. My son lost 53 pounds without walking on ketogenic and intermittent fasting. He still does it, and he's maintained his weight completely. So you might get some diarrhea, which is pretty normal if your body's kind of flushing out. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be, you're not sick. And then you'll get rid of your SIBO. That's probably why you'll get the diarrhea. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Most people are carrying it around inside their lower intestine and don't know it. It's where you've been eating sugar and carbs for too long, and the bugs in your gut microbiome are unhappy. The bad bugs are winning because they're eating sugar and carbs, but you need to feed the good bugs, which is why I eat fiber. Carnivores do it from the remnants of meat, but for me, I use fiber. So I eat the raw ginger, the raw garlic. Well, actually the ginger and the rocket salad and the raw broccoli is probably the best thing that I found. Olives, amazing. Sauerkraut, mega amazing. You will feel amazing. It's like hitting a different kind of high. So what do I eat to get results? So this is one of the pictures. It's eggs, fried bacon, rocket salad, and I put some walnuts. I absolutely love walnuts. I would include nuts, at least a handful of nuts every day. 3 Brazil nuts for your selenium. That's all you need. And then walnuts and pistachios. They're the 2 most reliable ones. Cashews have too many carbs and are technically not nuts. They're technically pulse, so don't bother with them. So low carb, increased good fats, protein, think 70% good fats, 20% protein, and 10% high fiber carbs. So, but really it's going to be a little bit more protein than that. If running and exercising a lot, you can increase natural high fiber carbs, some people eat berries. There's a lot of skinny people who do a lot of exercise and they eat fruit. Get rid of the fruit. Fruit has a lot of fructose in it, which can only be processed by the liver. The liver is under pressure by fructose. So humans are only designed to eat fructose now and again. Whenever we used to walk around and we would find an apple, we might eat the apple, or a beehive, we'd eat the honey. We're not designed to eat fruit every day. And a lot of people are putting fruit in their overnight oats. That's poisonous over time. You need to have a no carb breakfast. That should be your rule. No carb breakfast. I'm no carbs until 5 p.m. for people. I personally don't eat carbs at all. Except now I go on a blowout every now and again. Every now and again I go to the pub or I go on a blowout. That's fine. I mean, that's fine. It's not the occasional time. It's the intermittent. It's not the intermittent time. It's the chronic. It's where you're doing it all the time. It's this regularity. You're eating porridge for breakfast. Get rid of all that. Get out your. I didn't eat eggs for 10 years. Would you believe that? I didn't even think I liked eggs. My 9-year-old at the time, I gave her her first boiled egg and she didn't even know what it was because she had never been exposed to eggs. And now we eat eggs all the time, mainly because they're cheap and they're very nutritious, but they're cheap. I sometimes could have like 20 eggs in a day, no problem. And every part, I have my blood results there. I got my blood results checked after 6 months on keto, and they're perfect. I'm perfect on the inside. Well, all I need to do now is get rid of the last bit of flab on the outside to get into the dress. So you will think I'm crazy, but you'll be astounded. And the biggest thing, you will not be hungry. You'll be amazed. I drink carbonated water. I don't actually. This is the fancy one from Lidl. I used to drink the cheaper one. The bottle looks nice for the picture. But this one is actually lovely, this Italian one. I drink the Irish cheapy one, which is double the size. I drink carbonated water because of It has some potassium and salt in it. You have to increase your salt. Look, you don't have to drink carbonated water, but I prefer it, and I find it makes it easier. So a case for keto to reverse type 2 diabetes. If you have type 2 diabetes, you need to go on the ketogenic diet. You need to really sort yourself out. You need to get some information. This is one of my favorite meals. It's actually a vegetarian meal. It's got mozzarella, pecans, cheese, lots of veggies, really good. What's that one? Sun-dried tomatoes and stuff like that. So no bread, no rice, no pasta for 3 days. And I would say even stretch it to 3 months, but 3 days. And read the obesity code by Dr. Jason Fung. That will help you. I have another video on this as well. A case for reversing and improving dementia, Parkinson's, and autoimmune disease and Alzheimer's. Dr. Dale Bretherson, neurosurgeon. What is metabolic health? Metabolic health is being healthy on the inside and being insulin sensitive, not insulin resistant. Most of us are insulin resistant because we've been spiking our insulin too often. And now the cells are like, I couldn't be arsed with you. I'm not interested. And we need to go back to where we're insulin sensitive. And then you'll actually be able to eat carbs and you won't even notice, and you won't be piling on the weight. So insulin resistant is what a lot of people are. And it's not the chronic illness. I didn't have any chronic illness, but it's also the cancer risk. You're increasing your cancer risk because you're metabolically unhealthy and you have broken mitochondria. The only way cancer can form, well, we all have cancer cells going around our body all the time, but the only way it can embed is through broken mitochondria, damaged mitochondria, and that's what you want to get rid of. So that's why I have done some longer fasts. I did a 10-day water fast last year. I did a 7-day water fast this year. And like, I'm cooking for everybody in this house, and I still managed to do those fasts. So you can do it. Of course, I started small. I started 12 hours, 16 hours. And at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is so hard, even a 24-hour fast. Then I did a 36, then I did a 45, then I did a 60, then I did a 72. Like, I broke it up over months. And then eventually I did a 10-day water fast. It was supposed to be 7 days. And I ended up doing 10. And then I was like, oh, I'll go to 14. But I was a bit terrified at 10. I actually felt fine. But I was like, oh my God, will I be able to, what if I collapse? So I didn't continue on. I was kind of regretting that I didn't keep going. Because you can't do it then for a while again. You have to give your body a break. And then about 3 or 4 months later, last week I did, or the week before, I did a 7-day water fast. Just to kind of clean, I was really thinking about the insides of my veins to clean out the plaque. That's how, I love it though. I love trying it. It's very hard. The first day is the hardest one, the first 24 hours. Oh God, so hard. But once you get over the first 24 hours, you kind of get into kind of a rhythm and you don't really feel hungry because your body is using its own fat stores, and I have plenty. So here's a lovely omelette. I put brie. I love brie. You can also get sheep's cheese, which is actually supposed to be better, the sheep's and goat's cheese brie. You can get them in Lidl and Aldi. They're so cheap. But this is actually the cow's milk brie, the French one. I really like this as well. They say you should have the sheep and goats. It's like if you're on a budget, I'm on a budget. So everything has to be cheap. And it's good quality. Everything's good quality. So what is fat? So occasionally I will have some fruit, like once every 2 or 3 months. And I'll put it in a bowl of Greek yogurt and full-fat Greek yogurt and a load of cream, because the cream helps to delay the insulin spike. How to get rid of my fat? Let's get a strict ketogenic diet. How long do I need to do this for? I would say 3 days, very strict. And I would say try 3 months and you will absolutely be delighted with yourself. So your gut microbiome is your internal garden. This is one of my other meals. It's actually a big load of Brussels sprouts, big load of garlic, big load of mushrooms, cooked in coconut oil and butter. Coconut oil is better to cook in because it has a high smoke point, but you can use olive oil as well. That's pretty good. And this is where the evidence is. If anybody wants this, just email me at happinesshealthholisticschool@gmail.com. And, it's there. I'll put in the links anyway below. And That's it. And there is keto and cancer. Oh yeah, this is kind of how my journey started years ago. My brother died when he was 10 of cancer. And I always thought, this isn't a genetic illness. It can't be, it can't be. It's taken me all this time to find out it's not. Read Dr. Thomas Seyfried. This is a different woman who wrote this book. She has a clinic in the States where when people already have been diagnosed with cancer, she helps them to cope with it through keto. But she really would like people to prevent cancer by going on the ketogenic diet. So that's it. Finally, I would say read Benjamin Brickman. I should have these up more professionally, but anyway, Benjamin Brickman. Oh my God, Why We Get Sick. Benjamin Brickman is a long-time professor and researcher in the States, and he wrote a book a few years ago about why we get sick, and everything, including cancer, chronic illness, autoimmune, Crohn's, colon cancer, everything goes back to insulin resistance, that we are not looking after our mitochondria. Which you're going, what the hell's a mitochondria? Mitochondria is the brain of your cell. So start getting scientifically literate, start getting in control of your own health and your own slimness and whatever, and you'll feel amazing. And I want to help people to understand that this information is out there, and why are we being kept in the dark? Because I want you to reach the promised land like I have.